Hello everyone. This is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today I have my November meal calendar here because it is now December and I need to create a new meal calendar. And we had some pretty good meals in November. We had a pretty busy month. I would say not as busy as October, but we did do a little bit of traveling over Thanksgiving break. And I expect December is going to be pretty busy as well because we have a decent amount of travel. So I think it'll be a little bit of a shorter month for me to have to plan for. And it is very, very cold outside, so I did not turn off my heater. So you might hear it click on and off throughout the video. I frankly would just like to not freeze, so I hope it's not too distracting. So if you have not seen one of my meal calendar videos before, this is something that my husband and I like to do. And we have this just Velcro to the front of our fridge door so that we can just kind of reference it while we're in the kitchen, while we are grocery planning. So we will usually do a meal and then we kind of sprinkle in these FFY days, and FFY stands for Fend for Yourself. So we usually like to do leftovers on those days. Sometimes we will order in if we're feeling a little cheeky, but most of the time we try and plan our meals so that we have enough for leftovers for another meal. And then before I sit down and write out our calendar, my husband and I usually will kind of brainstorm for a few minutes, talk about, if there are any meals that either of us are particularly craving this month, something that we really liked or didn't like that we tried in the last month, and see if we want to, add it to our regular meal list. We have a pretty long master list of meals that we kind of scroll through when we're looking at what we want to fill in for the month. But this is just a very helpful tool for us to kind of stay organized, stay on the same page. We don't have to have the constant conversation of what are we doing for dinner. And it makes grocery shopping so much easier because we already know what we have coming up that week. So we don't constantly have to think about it. It's like we just sit down, brainstorm. One day I do this, and then we don't have to think about it the rest of the month. So it's really worth it for us. And we of course move things around. If you've seen my last video when I wrote out this November calendar, you'll notice that there are some meals missing because we just didn't end up needing to make them, or just some meals kind of moved and shifted around. So it just kind of happens naturally throughout the month as things come up, or we're not really feeling that meal, but we're feeling the next one, and so we move things around. So this is not set in stone, but it's just something that's really helpful and convenient for our household. So this is my November calendar. You can see we did a silly little pumpkin drawing up there for the fall or for Thanksgiving. And the first thing I'm going to do is wipe this all clean, and then I'm going to fill in the month of December with all of the dates. And I have this just plain clean paper towel that I'm going to use to wipe off the calendar because it's a little bit faster than the little tiny marker or the eraser on the marker. You can see I've also started to set out some holiday decor on my table. It's kind of getting in the way a little bit, but that's okay. think this part is probably the most satisfying for me, just to wipe it all clean and to kind of just start fresh for the next month. I think that kind of anyone, could really start a calendar like this. We originally started with just 1 week at a time, and that was, like pretty easy to kind of begin with. And then we upgraded to a bigger calendar, so now we can do a full month at a time. I'm going to take a clean part of my paper towel and just go over it one more time and just trying to get any of these leftover bits of marker. Do you think I probably need to deep clean this board at some point because there's some like residue left over from some of the marker spots? I don't have any specific whiteboard cleaner. I wonder if I could just use like window cleaner or something. Okay. So here is our fully clean whiteboard. Makes a very lovely sound. Now I have two markers over here because this one is pretty much dead, but I like it for the little eraser. And I'm going to use this one to actually write. So first things first, I'm going to fill in December up here. And then we'll probably do a cute little Christmas tree or something over there. So I've filled out December. And then now I just need to fill in the dates. And December does have 31 days and it starts on a Monday. So I'm going to do the numbers, just kind of small, up here in the top left corners. I like them to be small enough that they give me most of the space of the box so that I can write the meal. But I like them big enough that they're pretty easy to see just really quickly at a glance. My weather app said that it was supposed to snow a little bit today, but that has not happened yet. We did get our first snow last week, but it didn't really stick. It just kind of melted as soon as it hit the ground. So here is the 31st. Maybe I am just going to fill out the rest of this week, just to kind of make it look a little bit nicer. So now that I've gotten all of the dates written down, I'm going to fill in some days that we don't need to plan for because we have a holiday party and we are going to be on holiday vacation for a good portion of the second half of the month. We're going to be traveling and visiting family, kind of bouncing around a little bit. On the 8th, we do have a holiday work party. So I'm going to write fun for yourself, even though it's not technically a fun for yourself because we're not here, we're not eating leftovers. it just makes it really easy for me to quickly see we don't need to plan a meal for that day. And then we are basically on holiday vacation, like this second half of the month. We're going to be traveling around. We're visiting some friends this weekend. We're visiting my husband's family here. We're visiting my family here. And I think we might be coming back either the first or the second. We're not entirely sure yet, but I think I'm just going to write holiday vacation for all of these days. So I'm going to write holiday vacation, and then I'm just going to drag this line through these days. I think I'll do through the first, and then we're coming back. I'm going to guess that we'll decide to come back on the second. But if we come back on the first, we can have some like frozen, chicken and veggies, or I don't know if we would want to order in since we probably will have been eating pretty unhealthy food for the holidays, but we'll just kind of see. If we do come back on the first, we'll make it work. So we're going to be on holiday vacation. We have a lot that we need to prepare for. We need to prepare our house so that we can be gone that long and prepare it for our kind of house sitters that are going to be checking in, just to make sure, none of our pipes have burst or anything. We also need to pack. I mean, it's a decent, amount away still, but I do need to pack. Remember to bring, my work stuff, my laptop, and I think my husband is planning on trying not to work very much. He teaches, and so he'll be on winter break this time, and I think that he's trying to get everything prepped for when we come back so that he can truly just take a break during this time, but he might also need to pack some of his work stuff. So we have a lot to prepare for our holiday vacation time, and it'll be really nice even if we're doing work, working away from home and kind of catching up on stuff. We are still going to be spending a lot of time with family, and that's just always so nice to have, time with family and friends in between, working remotely. So while we are gone that time, we don't really need to plan meals. I probably will still maybe cook a couple meals in here, when we're at my parents' house. It's kind of a nice thing to do, maybe to give them a break, but we might also just have tons of leftovers from holiday food that we might all just pick out on. So we'll kind of play it by ear while we're actually traveling. So that takes up a good chunk of the month that we don't need to plan for. So now I'm going to go ahead and start filling in some of the meals that we have brainstormed, that we've talked about, that we would really like to make. And the first one is one of our really, really common ones, and this is chicken pot pie soup. And it is just so yummy, and it's in the Instapot. So it's an Instant Pot recipe, and it's really, really super easy. We like to do it with biscuits on the side, and we can dip our biscuits, or my husband puts his biscuits in the bowl and then scoops the soup on top of them, so they soak it up. So we really like chicken pot pie soup. We do that, I feel at least every other month, if not every month. So we're gonna do chicken pot pie soup, and I'm actually filming this on Monday, and I'm very excited for this because it's so cold out, and my dog's walks have been so cold that a really yummy, warm, hearty soup just sounds so good. So we always have leftovers from that, and it is just my husband and myself, so it's really easy for us to make meals and be sure that we have leftovers from them. So we'll do a Fend for Yourself on Tuesday, and then another one that we would really like to do. I don't know if we did this in November, I don't actually remember, but it is fried rice. This is another one of those that we just really, really love because it is so simple, so easy to do, but also so tasty. So we'll do fried rice on Wednesday. We'll definitely have leftovers on the 4th. And then we do have a couple of holiday plans this weekend. So we are going to need meals, but I kind of want something simple on Friday. So we're going to do our tortellini and spinach because that one is just super quick, super easy, but it also makes a decent amount of food. So we will have some leftovers for Saturday so that when we are out and about at the holiday markets and come back, we can just heat up some leftovers and we don't have to worry about cooking. So we'll do a fend for yourself on the 6th. And then, let's see, we did want to do our Cajun rice dish. Let's do that on the 7th. Cajun rice dish. So this is kind of exactly what it sounds. It's just a rice dish with a tomato base, and we do bell peppers, onions, celery, sometimes chicken and sausage, sometimes just sausage. Kind of depends on what we're feeling or how expensive either is. And we just kind of throw it all together, simmer it in, some chicken broth and tomato paste, and lots of good yummy Cajun seasonings. It's very good, very hearty and warming again, which is I think going to be the theme of a lot of these meals. So we're going to do that on the 7th, and then we have that holiday work dinner on the 8th. And then, you know what, I'm probably actually going to do another fend for yourself here because I think if we are out at a restaurant here, I always have leftovers from my restaurant meals because I usually just they're usually portioned way too large here in the States. So I usually will at least have another meal from that. And we'll probably still have some leftover Cajun rice dish. So that will be kind of a good day to make sure that we eat up any leftovers that we do still have. So we'll do another fend for yourself on the 9th. And then we would also like to do our pork carnitas tacos. So I'm going to fill that in on the 10th. I don't think we've done this one in a couple of months, but it's honestly super easy and really, really yummy. So I think that both of us were kind of we'd really like to do that this month. So let's do that on the 10th, and then we'll do fend for yourself with the leftovers from that on the 11th. And on the 12th, which is a Friday, my husband really wants spaghetti. I think spaghetti is probably one of his favorite meals, and maybe the chicken pot pie soup I think is also one of his favorite meals that we do. But we are gonna try spaghetti. And then, we also, when we were at Thanksgiving, for my family's Thanksgiving, we traveled to do kind of a bigger family gathering with some of my dad's side of the family. And we learned a recipe for, it's a family recipe for dinner rolls, and they were so good. And I got the recipe from my aunt, and so we kind of want to try and make it. And we thought it would be fun to have rolls on the side with our spaghetti. So I think I'm going to try that here. I thought about maybe trying it so that we could do rolls instead of biscuits on the side with the chicken pot pie soup, but I don't think I'm going to have the energy or time to do that today. So I think we're probably going to do that next week for the spaghetti. So we'll do spaghetti. We always have leftovers from spaghetti. yourself on the 13th. And then this week I want kind of really super simple meals because we're going to be cleaning the house, we're going to be packing, we're going to be getting our dog groomed. She's got a vet appointment, all of this different stuff going on this week. So we're going to be super busy getting prepared for our holiday vacation. So I think on the 14th, let's maybe do one of our really simple meals is DIY pizzas. Because we love pizza, but my husband is lactose intolerant and we don't have many great pizza places around us that do like good dairy-free pizzas, and so this is like a really easy way for us to have pizza and to make sure that it's something that my husband, like could eat. And we're gonna do, I think, another meal. We don't really tend to have too many leftovers from our DIY pizzas, so I think I want to do, maybe I'll do BLTs here because I love BLTs. I don't remember if we actually did BLTs in November, which is interesting because I think we do BLTs usually once a month because it's just so simple, and we always do it with avocado as well, so like a BLTA. So we'll do BLTs, and then I think I only want like one more meal here. I think I want to do a fend for yourself day here to make sure that if we have any leftovers in the fridge still, that they get eaten up or thrown away before our holiday vacation, so they're not sitting in the fridge for 2 weeks. So I'm going to do a fend for yourself day on the 18th. And I think we do sometimes have some leftover bacon from here, so I'm going to do a fend for yourself here. And then maybe we will do, I've been craving French toast, so let's do breakfast for dinner because we never actually make like a full breakfast for breakfast. But I love breakfast food, and so we only ever really do it for like breakfast for dinner. So I think I'm gonna do a breakfast for dinner for the 17th, and I really want to do some French toast. We'll probably whip up like a really good like strawberry like syrup on the stove just really quickly, and I think that'll be good, and we can make enough French toast if we would like to have some leftovers here if we're thinking that we don't really have any leftovers, or we want to make sure that we're not like ordering in or something, which would be fine if we wanted to. So we'll do that the 17th, and then there's the 18th, and then we're gonna be gone on holiday vacation all of these days, and I'm gonna say that we're probably gonna come back on the 2nd. And I had seen this like really delicious looking, it was like a sloppy Joe tater tot casserole, which sounds like the most American thing ever, but I really want to make it because I love sloppy Joe and I love tater tot casserole. So this is something that I could do before our vacation and then freeze it, so I can like assemble it in a foil pan, cover it nicely, and then throw it in the freezer, and then that way when we get home we can just throw it in the oven and bake it, and then it should be ready to go. So I found a good recipe for that, so I think I'm going to do that here. I'm going to do tater tot. I don't remember if those are 2 words or not. Tater tot, sloppy Joe casserole. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to, have time before we leave to kind of prep that, get it all assembled in the pan so that when we come back, it's just really, really easy for us, because I know us, and when we come back from lots of travel, we very rarely want to do any cooking that day. way for us to like have a meal, but also not have to like do all of the prep and everything for it. And I think looking at the recipe, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a decent amount of leftovers. So I can do a fend for yourself on the 3rd. And I think that kind of covers December. I'm just kind of looking back through the days. I mean, again, with this like massive holiday break that we have, we don't need to really do as many meals, which is quite nice. And we're very fortunate that friends and family are kind of hosting us throughout this time, so that also makes it nice. We have lots of holiday parties in here, friend dinners, and stuff that I think are going to kind of cover most of our meals. So I think that this all looks pretty good. I think that this week looks pretty light, which is kind of what I was going for. And then we of course have a few meals that we're, really looking forward to. Again, I'm really looking forward to this chicken pot pie soup tonight. I love this chicken pot pie soup. And our fried rice. I love fried rice in general. The way we do it is just like so easy. I think that that is everything for December. Kind of a very quick, short little planning session. I didn't really need to think too much about lots of meals, which is kind of nice. I am really looking forward to December. I love the holiday season. I'm very excited to finish decorating our house and have some yummy meals, but mostly spend lots of good time with friends and family. I hope that you enjoyed watching this kind of casual plan with me session. I have lots of these meal calendar videos, so if you would like to see any more of those, I will go ahead and link the playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful December. Goodbye.